Hey everybody! So yesterday we worked on revising our story where we added in a word or took out something that didn't make sense. Today we're moving on to the next part of the writing process, which is editing. So when you edit, you're going to look to see if your sentences have capital letters. You're going to look to see if your sentences have periods or end with exclamation marks or question marks. And you're going to see if there's anything that you need help spelling or that you may have misspelled by accident that you need to fix. So when I was writing this story, I purposely made quite a few mistakes so that we can practice editing together. But when you go to edit your story, right now your goal is to just find one thing that needs to be fixed, okay? So just one thing that you need to edit. Just like yesterday, I like for you to use a different color when you edit because it really stands out and helps me to see what you did and helps you to see what you did when you edited. So today I'm using a different color. That way revising is in one color and editing is in another. Okay, so let's start by reading through my story, and as I read through it, I'm going to see if there's anything that I need to fix, okay? So remember, I'm looking to see, is my sentence capitalized? Does it end with a period, exclamation mark, or question mark? And is there anything that needs to be fixed with spelling? Just a heads up, if your sentence only has one period, or not your sentence, if your story only has one period at the very end, you're probably needing periods in some other places. That's kind of a hard skill for first graders at the beginning of the year especially, is to know where you need to put periods. So that may be something that you need to focus on. We'll see. Okay, here we go. I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation. I got to feed real chipmunks. Okay. First of all, I noticed I underlined this here, experience, because I wanted to check to see if it was spelled right. And I could either ask an adult now or Miss Clark, or I could look in my reader's notebook, or writer's notebook, to see if it's in there. I've already looked in my writer's notebook and the word experience is not there. So I'm going to ask an adult. So after I ask the adult, I'm going to write the correct spelling. So you can circle a word if it's not spelled correctly and then write the correct spelling above it. Not an I. Experience. Okay, so I had it wrong. There's no I there basically, and the I's in another place. So there's how I spell experience. I fixed it. Okay, let's listen to my sentence also because I noticed there's something else. I'm going to read this sentence just the way it is that I wrote it. I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation. I got to feed two real chipmunks. Okay, there's actually two sentences here. Even though I only have one period, there's another place that I need a period. Listen to where it would make sense for me to actually stop talking and take a breath. I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation. I got to feed two real chipmunks. Let's think about where would it make sense to stop. I had the most. Would that make sense to stop there? No. I had the most amazing experience. Well, that could make sense to stop there, but if I keep reading, it does not make sense. In Colorado on vacation. I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation. Does it sound good to have a period there? It sounds like I may need one there. Let's see what it would sound like if I put a period there and kept going. Okay, so I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation, period. I got to feed real chipmunks. Does that next sentence make sense? I got to feed real chipmunks? Yes. So if I put a period here, it would make sense. This whole sentence would make sense. And then the next sentence would make sense. So I know that the period needs to be here because this is a really long sentence that really doesn't make sense without a period. So when you need to add a period, what you do is put the period and then you circle it to show that you're adding it. So this is the editing mark for adding punctuation. It's a period with a circle, okay? That shows that you are adding a period. All right, let's keep reading. I got to feed real chipmunks. Okay, something I notice here is that I have a spelling mistake. This 2 that I wrote, TWO, is actually a number word, and that's not what I meant. I got to feed. That doesn't make sense. The 2 that I need to use is TO. So I'm going to circle the wrong spelling and write it correctly above it. It's TO. Now remember, I have a lot of things I'm editing right now in my story. Your goal is to just find one thing in your story. Like I said, I made a bunch of mistakes so that I could really show you how editing works, but you're only going to have to find one thing in your story for now. You're welcome to find more, but your goal is just to find one. I got to feed real chipmunks. Okay, I have a period here, but my next letter is not capitalized. And whenever I start a new sentence, I've got to start with a capital letter. So remember, a little while ago, I showed you that when you have to add a capital letter, what you do is put 3 lines under the letter. And then you can put the capital letter above it, showing that we needs a capital W because it's the beginning of the sentence. We had to hike to the very top of a tall mountain. Okay, I underlined some words here, so I can either ask an adult or look them up. I'm asking an adult how to spell hike, or if I spelled it correctly, I need to add an E to the end of it, so I'm going to write how to spell it correctly above it. It's H-I-K-E. Otherwise, this just says hick. The E makes the I say its name. We had to hike to the very top of a tall mountain. Okay, mountain is not spelled correctly, or I'm not sure if it's spelled correctly because I underlined it. I'm going to ask an adult or look in my writing notebook. And mountain is almost spelled correctly, but I need to add one letter. I need to add the A there. So notice how when I get to these underlined words, I'm either looking them up or asking for help on how to spell them, and I'm writing them correctly above it. Okay, moving on. When we got to the top, there were little chipmunks running everywhere. We brought sunflower seeds to feed the chipmunks. I found a big gray rock to sit on. I sat as still as I could with sunflower seeds in my hand. Okay, I see a mistake. Look at this sentence because this is something that you should be able to see that's wrong too. Let me point as I read this sentence. When you see the mistake, say stop. I sat as still as I could with sunflower seeds in my hand. You should have said stop right here. What is wrong with my sentence right here? Anytime I is by itself, it should be capitalized. So I need to edit this part. I remember I put my 3 lines below it because that shows that I need a capital letter, and then I can write my capital I. I sat as still as I could with sunflower seeds in my hand. Okay, that sounds good. A tiny little chipmunk ran up and started to nibble from my hand. Feeding the chipmunks was so much fun. Okay, I think that we are done editing. So remember, when you edit, you read your story back and you look to see if you need to add capital letters to the beginning of your sentences, if you need to add periods to the end of your sentences, or exclamation marks or question marks, and you look to see if things are spelled correctly and if they're not, fixing them with the correct spelling. That is editing. So today, look at your story and see and find one thing that you can edit. Remember, capitalized, period, spelling. Any of those things will work for editing. And remember also I said, a lot of times first graders at the beginning of the year especially write a story and it only has one period at the very end. When you edit today, you can look and see maybe you need to break up your story into more than one sentence because it probably is more than one sentence. So you may want to have an adult help you with this step today of editing. Remember, looking for capital letters, periods, and spelling. Make sure that you take a picture of what you did today and show me your work.